If you have low levels of oxytocin, you may be experiencing feelings of loneliness and isolation, or perhaps a lack of confidence and self-belief. Let me tell you 7 things you can do this week that will help boost your oxytocin levels. Hello and welcome to the Summer Wellness Challenge. Last week we spoke all about dopamine and the 7 habits you could do to naturally boost it. This week we are moving on to the connection chemical, oxytocin. Oxytocin is often called the love hormone because it is released through touch, acts of kindness and social bonding. But for teachers, it's also a secret weapon for lowering stress, improving mood and feeling more supportive, especially during a busy school term. If you want to download a free guide with daily steps to increasing your 4 natural feel-good chemicals, there is a link down below. But for now, let's get on to this week's challenges, 7 ways to boost your oxytocin and why they work. Challenge number 1 is to make plans with friends. I want you to set a date and an activity. Even just making plans for a get-together gives your brain a hit of oxytocin. The anticipation of connection is enough to boost your mood. Humans are wired for social bonding, and research shows that spending time with loved ones lowers cortisol and increases feelings of happiness and safety. It also helps to combat feelings of loneliness, which is one of the biggest barriers of oxytocin release. Day 2 is to call or voice note someone that you love. Hearing the voice of somebody that you care about activates oxytocin and reduces feelings of stress and isolation. Calling is obviously better, but I personally love a voice note for those relationships that include very busy friends and family members. Yes, me and my friends are those people who leave each other voice notes that are basically like podcasts. Voice is way more effective than text because when we hear someone's tone, pace and pitch, it activates areas of the brain linked to emotional processing. These vocal cues help us interpret emotion and intent, which strengthens our connection and trust. Day 3 is an act of kindness for a stranger or a loved one. When you help someone, whether it be something small or big, it activates areas in your brain that are responsible for pleasure and reward. These areas are rich in both oxytocin and dopamine receptors, which is why it feels so good to give. Plus, kindness is a double oxytocin boost because it not only triggers it for you, but also the person receiving it. Even small gestures like paying somebody a compliment or holding the door for someone can give you a boost of oxytocin and make you feel more connected and fulfilled. Day 4 is to cook for your family or friends. Not only is this just a fun way to spend your summer holidays, but sharing a meal and cooking for somebody is a great way to increase your connection. By doing this, you're actually releasing oxytocin in 2 different ways. 1, the generous act of cooking for somebody, that's an act of kindness. And then also when you're all sat down, sharing conversation and laughter, that is a form of social bonding, which will also release the oxytocin, both for you and everyone that you invite. Day 5 is to work out with other people. This might be with friends or family, or even just a class at your gym or a local class studio. Group exercise increases oxytocin because physical activity combined with the social connection mimics tribal bonding. Shared effort and encouragement release teamwork chemicals, making workouts feel easier and more enjoyable. Do you find that you can push yourself harder when you work out with other people? That is actually not just because of the social peer pressure. Research has found that synchronized movement, for example a fitness class, can actually boost your pain tolerance because of the release of oxytocin, hence why you work harder. Day 6 is a phone-free evening with friends or family. One huge cause of low oxytocin is the use of phones during social connection. I'm sure you have experienced it before when you're trying to talk to someone and they're like half listening, half looking down at their phone. I try so hard not to be that person. So that's a challenge for you that evening. You're going to connect way more strongly and release more oxytocin by just being present in each other's company. Being present is key to the release of oxytocin, and it will also just strengthen your bond and connection with other people. So for just one evening, remove the digital distractions and your brain can focus on that face-to-face connection. Day 7 is very simple but very effective, and that is to give somebody a long and genuine hug. When somebody is holding you, oxytocin is released in your bloodstream, and as a result, your levels of cortisol also decrease. And for those who aren't sure, cortisol is your stress hormone. Physical touch is the fastest and most direct way of releasing oxytocin, so just give people hugs. A long hug can lower heart rate, reduce blood pressure, and calm the nervous system. This is because oxytocin helps downregulate the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight mode, and supports activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. If you are single, that is fine. Hug your family and friends, try and aim for about 3 to 5 seconds. And obviously, if you're in a relationship, show that person how much you care and love them. Hold their hands, give them a massage, give them a cuddle on the sofa. Just show that affection, and then you both get a release of oxytocin. You can also get this release from stroking pets, so give your cat or your dog a cuddle. Oxytocin is all about connection, whether that be with friends, family, or strangers through acts of kindness. This week, lean into these 7 actions. Notice how your stress softens, your connection increases, and you feel more grounded and supported. There is one element to oxytocin that I haven't touched on in this video, but I will create a whole post on Instagram for you. This is the importance of gratitude and positive self-talk. The love hormone includes self-love, so to optimize the release of oxytocin, it's so important that we quiet our inner critic and prioritize positive self-talk. I hope this video was helpful. Have an amazing week trying all 7 of these challenges, and let me know how you're feeling by the end of it. If you are yet to watch last week's video, there are 7 ways to increase your dopamine naturally. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!